All right, welcome back to Modern Day MMA. This is your host, Chris Meyer, and with me, as always, is the co host to my left, Kale Meyer. Uh, Thanks for tuning in, guys. This week, we're going to be recapping the big win over Dominick Reyes that Jiri Prochazka had, his second fight in the UFC, and looks like he's probably getting the next title shot. A couple of good fights, actually, a sneaky good card, especially the main card turned out really entertaining, I thought. And then a little later on in the program, we will talk about what is it? UFC Fight Night used to be Sandhagen versus Dillashaw.
Yeah.
Got kind of a couple of injuries there. I mean, Diego Sanchez is out now too, obviously. And yeah, where do you want to start this week, Kale?
I mean, might as well start with the Reyes Prochazka fight. I mean, there's some pretty good fights on the card as a whole, but um, yeah, we might as well start there. Yuri, he's got the best haircut, I think, of 2021 so far.
Yeah,
I really like that style. Um, I like his fighting style too. That guy's exciting. He's a wild man. I feel like it's either get knocked out or knock out somebody. Like he's got a lot of knockout wins. I was watching a lot of his earlier fights in his career with different organizations. He knocks out everybody. Um, Exciting guy to watch. Seems to have the grappling under control. So it'll be a good fight between him and Jan. I don't really know how to pick that fight, to be honest. What do you
yeah, he's
think?
definitely. I mean, he's super entertaining. Obviously, he's got a lot of experience outside of the UFC as well. And he came to the UFC later in his career when he already had a bunch of experience through Horizon and stuff, right? Um, you look at his fights; he's got 27 finishes in 28 wins, I think, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty ridiculous when you think about that, right?
Yeah.
Just the amount of finishing rate that a guy can have, right? That's and it shows the way he fights is extremely aggressive, very pressure oriented. He cuts the cage well. He's really long. He hits hard. But you look at his strikes absorbed per minute, and you realize that this is not it's not a successful way of fighting in the long term. I don't think, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
he absorbs 7 strikes a minute, and he dishes out around 7 strikes a minute, right? So he's really is just relying on chin, and that's fine when you're 28, however old he is. I think he's 28. Um, and he hasn't taken that much damage yet. But it's not a recipe for long term success, I don't think. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but as you get older, people tend to get better at defense. They realize they can't last forever like that in the just a gunslinger attitude, right? Um,
Yeah.
I think that he's improving a lot in between fights as well. I like his aggressive style, and he looked like he was able to get out from underneath Reyes fairly easily too. It didn't take him that long. Um, yeah, it's super exciting. This is kind of what we thought Johnny Walker was gonna be, right? Um,
Yeah.
this is Johnny Walker with a chin and obviously more skills, right? Uh, he's a rising champion. He's on a big fucking win streak. He's won a lot of fights in a row. Extremely high finishing rate. Very unorthodox in his fighting style. He's got a lot of Tony Ferguson qualities in him. I think his really good push kick. He's fairly long. He hits hard. He'll spin. Um, and he's very aggressive. He didn't mind getting into the firefight with Dominick Reyes, and that's why I picked him to win by knockout. Because I just thought that he was going to make it a firefight and that he would be more comfortable fighting that way than Reyes was. And Reyes looked really good. I thought he was maybe not winning the fight, but I thought he was doing really well. And the way that he fought, I thought that he would have beat a lot of other fighters that night because he was landing some big bombs on Yuri. Yuri showed a good chin, and
Mm-hmm.
Reyes hits hard, and some of those counters with that left hand of Reyes, man, I thought Yuri was going to go to sleep, and
Yeah.
he didn't.
He's got a powerful counter left. You can
Reyes,
just tell there's a whole ton of power on it.
and the way he would plant as Yuri was coming in super aggressive, like he would come and he would plant right, and Yuri would run right into it. And when you create collisions like that, when you're 205 pounds, I really thought that Reyes was going to be able to hurt Prochazka more than that. And,
Yeah. Well, that's how he
Yuri,
finished Weidman, wasn't it?
yeah.
He caught
Yeah, well,
Weidman
that was
there,
a
kind of.
check. That was a check hook, I think, coming in, not a straight, I think.
Yeah.
But he landed some bombs on Yuri, and Yuri wasn't phased at all. He showed 100% grit, just went right through it. Didn't even look like it was bothering him in any way. Um,
Hmm.
he kind of got stunned that
He got stunned. I
late in
remember
the
him getting
first round.
stunned.
Yeah, but that was the only time, and he took a lot of big shots.
Yeah. I
Some
mean,
people
you can
thought
take
that
a lot of big shots until you can't,
and
right?
that's exactly it, right?
That's the
Um,
issue.
yeah, I've been rambling here a little bit. What do you think about Dominick Reyes? Where does he go from here? And did you like his performance in this fight? And do you think that this was just a fight that he just couldn't win, even though he kind of looked like he was doing well?
Man, it just looked like Yuri. I don't know if maybe he only puts power in the shots that he knows he's gonna land or something, but I was shocked that Yuri wasn't more tired. Like how many of all the times Dominic did get hit, I thought he was blocking a lot of shots as well. I was just like, man, how is this guy not like slowing down? Like it just kind of looked like he wasn't really getting tired. And he just was on Dominic like the entire fight, like wouldn't let up, just not giving him any time to breathe. And I don't know. I think Dominic fought well. I thought he looked really good. I thought he looked fast. I thought he looked like he was aggressive when he had to be, and when he had good defense when he was getting pressured. Um, but Yuri's just so unorthodox. Like you just don't know what the guy's fucking throwing. Like you don't know if it's kicks, punches, hooks. Like he just, I just think it's such a difficult fight to fight, and especially when the guy has a literally an iron chin. It's got to be discouraging when you land a huge shot like he did, and just see him walk right through it. It's like, oh fuck, this is gonna be a long night for me. So I mean, I think obviously he got knocked out pretty bad, so I think he takes another 6 months off, unfortunately, minimum
Should take 8 or 10 months
eight
off,
or 8 or 10 months if you're smart,
maybe a
because he's
year. I
still
mean,
young, right?
you
You
think
don't want
about
to be
it,
that guy that starts to be known as chinny in your young age.
and he's only got 12. Well, he's got more now. He's 12-3.
Yeah,
Um, Yuri Prochazka is 28-3, right? So he's got literally 12 or what is that, 14 more fights than him.
yeah,
That's a lot of experience, especially when he was the champion of another organization, right? I think Dominic Reyes, he had some good wins before the John Jones fight, obviously, but he almost got rushed into this title picture. Um, he kind of got a quick path to the title, right? And
yeah,
perhaps that he should have taken his time more. And now that you almost beat Jones, right? I think it was a good stylistic fight, obviously for him, and I think that it's going to be hard for him to go back down the ladder a little bit, right? Which is good though. He kind of needs not a tune-up fight, but he just needs another fight to fight someone lower, right? Because he fought Jones, and then he fought the champion in Jan Blachowicz, and then he fought the clear number one contender in Jiri Prochazka, right? So there's no shame in losing to any of those guys, obviously. Um, but
yeah. I
it's a
mean,
tough run.
he's only got that many fights, but I just think like I don't know if I agree because he competed so well against Jones. So I think it's hard to make the case, oh, maybe he shouldn't have been there. It's like, well,
No, not
he damn near well beat Jones.
yeah, not that he shouldn't have been there. I just mean that he should collect a little bit more experience, and I think that it shows in some of his like he just he knows how to fight. Obviously, he almost beat Jones. He's really good, right? But I feel like he could use some polishing, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, or maybe Yuri's just a bad motherfucker that we don't truly know how good he is yet,
Yeah.
until we see his next 5 fights. It could be that too, that Yuri's just that good.
Well, I
Because
think he is
maybe
that good.
Dominic goes out and smashes his next opponent, right?
Yeah, that's definitely possible too. I just don't want to see a guy with only 12 fights get on a big 4 or 5 fight losing streak now. Um, you
Yeah.
know, like he's fairly young. He hasn't taken that much damage. You know,
Give him
um,
Smith. Give him
yeah,
Smith.
give him Smith. I mean, I still think that he's definitely a dangerous fighter, and he'll probably continue to be in the top 10 for a while. He's young, and
I think
You know,
he'll
he's
fight for the belt again.
oh yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I just think that he's been matched up with really, really tough guys the last 3 fights in a row, and you know, he just needs to take a step back.
Yeah.
You know, fight somebody a little bit lower in the rankings, maybe. You know, like a Nikita Krylov, or give him Johnny Walker or something like that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that
So
it's pretty thick though in that top five.
yeah, it's getting cool. This Yuri guy kind of came out of nowhere a little bit. Like I watched obviously his fight with Vulcan was super impressive. Um, but he just I haven't I don't even know that much about the guy until I started researching his fights before the UFC.
Well,
Um,
when you fight in Ryzen, it's not like we get a lot of coverage over here, right?
yeah.
Um,
Uh,
because he
like
fought in Ryzen for his last 10 fights, basically,
yeah,
or
his fight with
8 fights,
Jan.
10
Like
or more.
I don't know if that's gonna go Jan's way. You know,
I think Jan is an
Jan
extremely
might have a little
talented
more
counter
power.
fighter, and I think that if you run into a couple of those from Jan, I don't think that your fight goes your way. He's very hittable, and I'm not saying that he can't knock Jan out, right? He could very well do that, but Jan's a pretty slick counter striker, and he hits hard. And you know, I wouldn't put it past Jan that he could definitely sleep Yuri,
Yeah,
and vice
or
versa,
vice
right?
versa. Yeah,
Definitely. The pressure and pace, though. I mean, I was looking at Yuri's record there. He's obviously got a very impressive record, but his last 10 fights have all ended early, somewhat early, right? Like in the first or second round, right? He went to round 3 with King Mo
hmm
in 2019. Now I haven't watched a whole lot of these fights, but I've watched a lot of his highlights and his finishes, and it seems like he fights very aggressively all the time, right? I'm just wondering, if a guy gets you into round 3 or 4, can you keep that pace up as a light heavyweight?
yeah. I mean, probably not, but who knows what your opponent's going to look like at that point in time, right? Because I was just surprised that he was still able to push the pace as much as he was towards the
Yeah.
end of. Because what did he knock him out? 4.5 minutes into round two. By that time he had basically been going hard for 9 minutes. Like that in itself, I think, is actually pretty impressive considering the pace that they were putting on. Like Dominic was tired of shit too.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know, man. I mean, obviously you never know until it gets to that point, but at least for now, I don't think we can really say that. I
Yeah.
guess it's not so much a cardio issue as like just an experience thing, really,
Do
as
you
well.
think the small cage had anything to do with the fight?
I don't know.
Just the
I don't
way,
know.
like I felt like, I mean, Yuri did a good job of cutting the cage and pressuring Reyes, but I feel like if the cage was bigger, in the bigger cage, right, the 30-foot octagon, that I think Reyes would have had more success being able to get away from Yuri's onslaught of pressure. But
Mhm.
it might have just made it last a little longer. It just felt like his back was to the cage all the time.
Yeah.
Now maybe Yuri would have done that in a bigger cage too. He obviously,
Yeah.
was doing well, but I liked. Yeah, it was a very entertaining fight, and pretty ridiculous knockout, honestly.
Yeah.
One
And as
one of the
far as like Dominic's
knockouts of the
chin,
year.
um, that would have knocked out a horse. Like Dominic's
Yeah,
chin had held up really well up until that point because he had seen the shots that were coming. I mean, if you don't
yeah,
see that elbow
definitely.
coming, that knocks out everybody. Nobody is standing after that. So I don't think Dominic's chinny or getting chinny or anything like that. I just think he's had some tough fights with some fucking hard hitting dudes. you know.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think Dominic's chinny at all. I think he took a really good shot. Took a lot of those shots to put him out.
I liked his comment after the fight too.
Who's?
Dominic's he just made this Instagram post or whatever.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
It's pretty cool. But
yeah,
yeah, man,
yeah. Hopefully, he
sport's
takes some time
cruel.
off.
Just
Yeah, it
think, like
is,
you were just on top of the world, fighting for the belt.
in a
Two
fight that
fights
a lot of
later,
people thought you won.
the best ever. And now you're just on a two-fight skid against guys that are nowhere near the fame or notoriety that Jones has. It's just it's a vicious sport.
Yeah, it
All
is.
right. What else happened? We saw Cub Swanson get liver kicked. That was a liver kick or a body shot? I can't
Yeah,
remember.
he kicked him in the liver.
Kicked him in the liver.
The giga kick.
Giga
He,
Chikadze.
yeah. Um, yeah, that wasn't much of a fight. I mean, a minute in, kicks him in the body. Um,
Poor Cub.
yeah, that was a tough one. I mean, you just can't continue.
No, that's the off button, man. I mean, obviously the
Yeah,
knockout button is the off button, but or sorry, the knockout punch, but that's the worst because you're seeing it happen. Like your
yeah,
body's just you can't tough through it. Um, yeah, sucks.
yeah. That was a tough one. I mean, it looked like it hurt a lot. Cub was down for a minute after that too, right? So,
Mhm.
yeah. Giga Chikadze though. I mean, I'm looking forward to watching him continue fighting. You know, I like that guy. He moved up. He's number 10 now, so his next fight's going to be a banger. Uh, and he got another finish, right? Because a lot of people were saying that he couldn't finish people because he doesn't have a lot. He has a fair amount of decisions.
Yeah,
So yeah. Give him Calvin Cater.
give him Calvin Cater. How dare you?
What? Calvin's coming off a beating. He needs to step down.
Yeah, beating from Max. What's this guy ranked? He ranked 10.
Number 10.
Yeah, yeah, you can do that.
Or give him Josh Emmett.
Calvin's probably still resting up. That
Oh,
was a
he
bad
should be.
fucking beating.
He's still got PTSD
Oh,
from Max's fucking body work.
oh god.
Oh
I'm the
no.
best boxer in the featherweight division. No, I'm the best boxer in the featherweight division.
Yeah. He said he's the best boxer in the UFC.
Well, that was a mistake.
Who? Max?
No,
No,
Calvin.
Max said that after.
Oh, after. Yeah,
Yeah. Max is a baller.
he's fucking gangster, man.
He's so good. I wish he was a champ.
I
Sorry,
know.
Volk. He won that second fight and he's defended it.
Yeah, such a shame. Hopefully,
Yeah.
well, not hopefully, I guess, but if Ortega wins, do you think Ortega's like, no, I can't fight Max. I can't do that.
No, he'll want a rematch. I mean, and it'll be a different fight, right? I mean, you look at his hands now compared to what they were before. I feel like he spent a lot of time on those. Now, I'm not
Just
saying he's gonna beat him.
imagine if it goes the same way. Just beats the fuck out of him for 5 rounds.
Yeah, it's not like Max hasn't been getting better too, right?
Exactly, right? Like I believe Max has gotten better. Max looks better every time out,
Yeah, he's so
especially
good.
since the losses. You know,
Yeah, Max is legit.
Max is legit as fuck.
Legit AF. It's going to be a sad day when he starts getting knocked out.
Yeah, it'll probably happen at 155.
Or it'll just happen in another year or two or three because he has taken some damage.
Yeah, yeah, that Dustin Poirier fight, that was a bad one.
Oh, yeah.
He got hit hard in that fight, a lot.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
What about that Kute
Okay.
Laba fight?
Yeah, that was not a
That
bad
was a
fight.
draw.
That pissed me off. Actually, it didn't piss me off. I placed a bunch of bets on Dustin Jacoby to win, and then I just because I kind of thought he was going to be able to gas out Kudalaba, and it almost worked, but not quite. I thought
Yeah.
Kudalaba won that fight.
Hmm.
I thought he got a 10-8 in the first round, and then you could have given him the second round too.
Second round was close. It was tough.
It was close, but I thought that Kudalaba did way more damage throughout the fight than Dustin Jacoby.
Yeah, I mean Kutulaba's good. He just like what a weird game plan.
Also,
Like, go in there.
also, Kudalaba should have fucking won the first round by 10-7 because Jacoby fucking grabbed the fence 14 times and the ref just didn't give a shit.
Oh, the one was egregious too.
Well, there was
Like on his
he'd
way
already
down.
warned him twice.
I know that
He's
was
like,
that
quit
was
grabbing the
bullshit.
fence. Quit grabbing the fence. How about you take a fucking point away and he'll quit grabbing the fence?
Yeah, I would
I
have brought
hate
that
that
up
shit. He should have
at
won
the
that
end.
first round 10-7. But either way, When it's a draw, my parlays get pushed, so I'm happy.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah.
Why does Kutelaba do that? Like, does he just go in and like, all right, if I don't finish this guy in the first round, it's going to be a tough fight? Like, is that his actual game plan?
I think he just likes to scrap.
I think so too. He just forgets what it's like to be super tired.
Yeah, he's like, you know what? I'm probably gonna finish him. And then he
Yeah.
doesn't, and it's like, fuck. Should have finished him.
Yeah.
So maybe he's just thinking like if I just go a little bit harder in the first round, I'm gonna finish him.
Yeah.
So he just goes even harder the next fight. He actually was a
Mhm.
lot better in the third round than in his last fight there.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think he's emotional. He just can't like he
He
just
just
wants
sees
to use
red,
all of
bro.
his strength and
I
just
just see red.
dominate. And I mean, in the Roundtree fight, it worked great. He just fucking ragdolled him.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you have a tough guy like Dustin, it's not gonna work like that.
Yeah, if you can't finish your guy early, it's gonna be a long night for you, right?
Yeah.
Jacoby was hurt though. And like I said, he would have gotten a lot more beating if he didn't grab the fence so many times.
Yeah.
I hate that shit when refs don't do anything for that. Because I mean, it's your instinct to grab the fence when you're getting taken down, right? I get it. You can't punish the fighters, but you have to punish them. Like you have
Yeah.
to, like the ref has to be like, hey, that's a point. Or you get one warning. You should get one warning, and if you do it again, automatic point. But he got two warnings, and then he did it again, and he's just like, hey, don't grab the fence, bud. Like
The
I'm
one was
not
bad though.
not gonna
He
tell
was
you
on his way
again.
down,
Oh yeah,
and
the
he
one was
grabbed the
bad.
fence. It was bad, bad. I was like, oh my god, that was terrible. And he just don't grab the fence. What the
See,
fuck?
I think if it's a small fence grab, it's a warning. But if it's an egregious one, like if it stops
If
the
it stops a
fucking
takedown, like
like
that's a
when
lot of
Jose Aldo
energy expelled.
probably get some hate for this, but when Jose Aldo fucking grabbed the fence when he was getting taken down by Chad Mendez in their first fight, he just immediately grabs the fence, doesn't get taken down, turns around, knees Chad Mendez in the face, and he's knocked out.
Yeah, that was a
That was the
bad one.
most vicious fence grab I've ever really seen.
Yeah, yeah, that one was bad.
Tough one. Love
But I mean,
Aldo.
he stayed champion.
Yeah, yeah, worth it.
Yeah, worth it in my opinion.
Definitely. Where do you want to go from here? Do you see the Strickland fight versus Jotko?
No, I didn't watch that one, but I watched the Marab fight.
Oh yeah,
Marab versus Stamen.
that was a good fight.
Yeah,
Marab Dvalishvili, man, the guy's just a fucking machine.
he just pushes a pace, man. He just you know
Cody was always on defense.
always, and that's the thing with those guys like the Islams and the Khabibs and the Marabs. You just they make you fight their fight, you know.
Yeah,
And when you're constantly on defense mode, you're just gonna cruise. You're just gonna cruise to a decision loss. You know, like yeah, it's tough. Those guys, those grappling having guys, man, they're just so hard. I think
yeah.
eventually everyone's gonna have super high level wrestling. Like it's just gonna be like you gotta have it because there's always gonna be those guys that have it that'll just do it to you.
Or at least anti wrestling, right? Like just to keep it fight standing. Because I mean, guys are going to learn from what Habib has been doing over the last 5 or so years, right? And the next 5 years, guys are going to be training how to stop that, right? So
Well, yeah, but it's the freaks. Like, you know, like Justin Gaethje is a legitimate fucking wrestler. Legitimate. And
yeah,
he
but he's been taken down by guys that weren't even good wrestlers, right?
no, I know, but he was training for that fight. You think it wouldn't have been as easy as it was for Khabib. You know, like it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be that easy. But it was.
Yeah, but Connor lasted 4 rounds,
Yeah. I mean,
right? And
lasted.
Connor's well, yeah, but I mean, he did way fucking better than Justin Gagey did. He did better than
Yeah.
Poirier did. So it's not
Or you're
like it's
just gonna have
impossible.
high level jiu-jitsu so that they don't want to take you down or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, but I feel like Khabib would still take down Charles Oliveira.
You think? I think
Why
Kevin
not?
Lee really struggled with Charles Oliveira.
Kevin
You
Lee
know,
is
like
not Habib. Not
No,
even
I know,
close.
but his takedowns, like he'd get him there and he'd be like, "What the fuck is this guy doing?" It obviously we'll never see it, but it would have been cool to see what would have happened on the ground with Oliveira and Khabib, because we've seen what Oliveira is on the ground. He's on another level.
Yeah,
You
he
know,
is. But Tony went to a decision with him.
are you are you saying that's a positive on Tony's end?
Well, no, I'm just saying if you can't finish Tony in 3 rounds, I don't think you can finish Habib. I feel like
No,
Habib
no.
I
I
feel like
mean, yeah, I
Habib's good
guess he
enough
didn't
to avoid
finish
a
it.
submission, right? Like Habib, it's very hard to submit Habib because he doesn't actually go into guard. He holds you against the fence and holds down. He does that Dagestani handcuff, right? Holds your wrist. You can't submit people when someone's holding your wrist like that and has both legs wrapped around your legs, right? He's
Yeah,
in a very good position.
yeah. I don't know. I just think like
What do you think Habib would do if he fought Charles Oliveira? You think he'd just try to strike with him?
I think he'd probably take him down and see what happens.
Yeah,
I just think
exactly.
that we don't know what would happen.
I don't know. I think that Paul Felder TKO'd Charles Oliveira 2 or 3 years ago on the ground. So I don't think Habib would think too much of it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, that was a couple years ago, but still, I mean, we're talking Habib versus Paul Felder, right? They're not even close.
Yeah,
I just think that, yeah, I think the whole overall, like, because it goes in stages, right? It goes from like you want to be a grappler, and then you want to be a top control wrestler, and then guys learn how to defend takedowns. So now it's brawl and sprawl, right? Like the Chuck Liddell era, and then there's different eras, right, and different metas to the whole game of MMA. And I just think that now people realize that you can just hold someone down and beat the shit out of them. There's going to be other guys that fight and figure out ways to avoid even getting to that position, right? I
yeah,
mean, you just like in 5 years, Habib's not going to beat the best lightweight on the planet, most likely, right? Because the game will have evolved to a point that his game will no longer, maybe not 5 years, but maybe 8 years, right?
yeah,
Because even if you're a phenom like GSP, right, the game has passed GSP by, right? Kamaru Usman would probably beat GSP, and if not him, then another 5 years, guaranteed that guy will beat GSP, right?
yeah.
So it's just a matter of time, right? That Habib's tricks wouldn't work on the next generation, right? Because they'll have figured out ways to defend that or defend earlier than that so it doesn't even get to that point, maybe, right?
Um, I don't know. I just think they're special people. You know,
Well,
Khabib's
there
one of those
is.
special people that I mean, everybody knew what he's been doing. You know, he's been in the UFC for 4 years. People have been knowing he was going to be on the top a year and a half ago, 2 years. You know, but still, nobody's come close to defending what he had to throw. You
Yeah,
know, I
but
just
these
think
are
sometimes you
also,
have a guy that's different.
yeah, I agree with you, but these are also guys that are not the next generation. They're his current generation, right? Habib's not fighting guys 10 years younger than him. He's fighting
No,
guys that are his age or older or 1 year younger or whatever, right? So it's the same generation. You can't figure out how to be better than Habib at that in 3 years. But the next generation of guys, the guys that are 23 years old right now, by the time they're 30 and in their primes and fighting for belts, they'll have figured out ways to defend that, I would think, right? Like that's just how MMA works. I mean, he's special obviously, but I think that I don't know.
I
I
don't know.
feel like we could
I
have
think
seen
I
a lot more
disagree.
from Habib. Yeah.
I think Khabib's different. I
Well,
don't
he
know
is, but at the end of the day, the guy's only got fucking 12 octagon wins.
if it's not the wins, it's the dominate. It's the domination.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying he's retired and he was 29 years old, right? So,
Yeah,
you
like
know,
everybody knew exactly what he was going to do. They
if
all
he
knew
sticks
exactly what he
around,
was going to do.
you think that
Nobody
he would
can
win
stop
if he sticks around permanently, fights 2 or 3 times a year for the next 5 years? You don't think he's
him.
going to
Well,
lose?
no, but maybe 30-year-old Khabib would, not 36-year-old Khabib.
Well, no, but he's 29 now. If he fights for another 3 years, every 2 years, I think he would lose one of those fights.
Well, yeah, but I mean, he might be in his prime right now. Is what I'm saying. I'm saying prime Khabib.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
maybe
guess.
Khabib's not in his prime in 3 years. I just think people just they only have one prime. Just because you're young and you don't have many fights doesn't mean 33 is your prime. Might mean 28 or 29 is. I just think
Yeah, but most
I think the
likely,
guy that beat Dustin and the guy that beat Justin, I just think that guy is he's just on another level. It's
Well, he
just weird.
definitely
It's
is.
just different.
He definitely
I just
is.
don't
But I
think
mean,
I don't think in 8 years' time that it would be like oh, this guy would beat Khabib. I just don't believe that.
you don't think so?
No.
Oh, well, it's happened with every other single champion.
Well, not you don't know that because they're not in their prime anymore when they lose.
No, but I think prime Kamaru Usman would, he might beat GSP. I mean,
We don't know that though.
no, we don't know that,
We
but
can speculate.
I don't know. The best athletes 10 years from now are probably going to beat the guys from right now. Maybe I'm wrong with 5 years, but I think eight
Okay,
years and
so
10
prime
years is almost a
Anderson and prime
guarantee.
Izzy.
I
Who
think
wins that
prime
fight?
Izzy would beat Anderson.
Really?
It's just a different
Anderson
game.
Anderson would be pissed.
I mean, I would say that for pretty much every fighter. With a 10-year gap, 10 years is about the low side, but
Well, yeah,
anything
but the
more than
sport is
that
still
guaranteed.
so young. So what happened 10 years ago isn't going to be near as big of a difference as what 10 years from now is.
Yeah,
The sport evolved. The sport evolved 50 years in the last 10 years, and it's going to evolve 10 years in the next 10 years. That's the way I look at it.
I still think it's going to evolve a fuckload over the next 10 years. Even just
Um,
last year, look at leg kicks. Fucking calf kicks weren't a thing until 2 years ago. And now
yeah,
they're just ending fights left, right, and center. Who's to say we're not going to come up with another technique that's just as powerful or more powerful next year,
yeah,
right?
but it's not like it's. I don't believe it's this career defining generation thing. I just think it's a calf kick. It's the way I look at it.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that guys are going to figure out a way to beat Habib's style. Maybe not Habib, but like
Well,
in
maybe
10
not
years,
because there's no more Khabibs. They
we'll
might
see.
not
Because
have to.
we'll see in 10 years, we'll see who the lightweight champion is, and we'll see if we think that guy could beat a prime Habib. Because it's just just the evolution of the sport. And certainly if not in 10 years, in 15 guaranteed. Like I just don't see a guy being able to hold his legacy for being dominant over that course of time.
Yeah, 15 years is different. I just think in 8 years you're not going to see a huge difference.
All right, well, set a fucking clock on your phone in 2029. We'll see if the lightweight champion from that year can beat Habib of 2020.
2029,
It's
eh?
interesting to talk about though, right? Like I mean, a guy can't remain on top even if the best version of GSP eventually would lose to any version of a champion however many years from now, right? We don't know what that number is, but I mean, a prime Kamaru Usman would give GSP a pretty fucking tough fight.
Yeah, I think you might beat him, unfortunately.
It's not that it's
Ah,
not winnable because GSP could win that fight. But I mean, you see where I'm going with this, right?
yeah,
So, you know, and you look at like Habib now, right? Even if it wasn't Habib, right? Dustin Poirier, he would probably beat the shit out of BJ Penn 10 years ago,
yeah,
right? Prime BJ Penn. It's just the sport's still so young that it evolves really fast. And I think guys are
yeah,
starting to finally learn how to train properly and to train um, with better results and once guys start making real money, you get better athletes and more people actually doing MMA, and you know
yeah,
we'll see.
yeah, for
All right,
sure.
well, what else do you want to talk about here on this card, Kale? We pretty much covered most of it. Merab Dvalishvili, I mean, the guy's got to fight ranked, someone ranked now in the top 10. Hopefully, the guy's got 7 fights in a row.
Yeah, I mean, Cody Stamen was a tough test in itself, right?
Yeah,
So he's got to fight somebody good next.
yeah. What would be a good fight is actually Frankie Edgar.
Poor Frankie. Actually,
That's
no,
a
that's a good
winnable fight.
matchup. That's a good
I mean, that's about
matchup.
as good of a fight as you can get if you're Frankie Edgar,
Yeah,
or as easy of a fight. Maybe Marlon Moraes.
yeah, yeah. Give him Frankie. That's a good
Yeah.
fight. Yeah, man. Who's gonna beat that guy? I mean, shit.
Well, he doesn't have the best striking, obviously, and he doesn't have as much power as a guy could, but his striking is getting better. So I think it'll probably be a guy that can just defend his takedowns enough to knock him out. Um, you know, Peter Yan,
And
man, he's gonna be tough to beat that guy.
he like the bantamweight division is full of strikers. Like, are you looking at that? Like, it's really like Aljamain is the guy with the only heavy wrestling game, and then Frankie Edgar. That's about it of the top 7, 8 guys. Everybody else is kind of a stand and swing kind of guy. That's crazy. There's not really many grappling heavy guys in the top tier there.
Yeah, it's weird how divisions go through stages like that, right? Like welterweight's full of wrestlers, and lightweight doesn't have a fucking wrestler in the top 10.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
Michael
weird.
Chandler, I guess, but you know,
Yeah.
yeah, bantamweight. I mean, Aljamain Sterling, I guess, and Cody Garbrandt's a wrestler, but he just strikes. Frankie
Yeah.
Edgar, I guess, is a wrestler. Marab. It's nice when a division's full of strikers. Hey, like lightweight right now is just fucking insane.
God, I'm so pissed that fight didn't happen. TJ versus fucking Dillashaw. Or
Man,
sorry, Dillashaw
Sandhagen.
versus Hagen.
I think Sandhagen fucks him up.
Oh, I don't know. The thing is, there's too many unknowns with TJ's comeback. Like,
He's
you're
36,
probably right, but
getting murked.
fuck, man, TJ's, yeah, it's tough to say. It's tough to. What the thing I don't really like about it is, yeah, he got the surgery, he healed up, he took a break, but I don't know if you want to be taking a huge break at the age of 34. Like, you want to stay somewhat consistent.
Not like he had a choice.
Not like he had a choice, but I don't know. It's
Maybe don't fucking
all
cheat.
all we can do is speculate, really.
Yeah,
But
maybe don't cheat. You won't have to take a break.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Fuck him.
But
I think Sandhagen's the future, man. I think that guy's really good. Um, you never know though. He's built so good for the division, right? He's long as
yeah,
shit. He obviously hits hard. He
as long
uses
as
a
he
lot of
figures out
weapons.
that the grappling thing, because, man, like, you look at how much Sterling just struggled with Jan, and then you look at what Sterling did to Sandhagen, made it look pretty fucking easy, you know.
Yep.
So I think he's still got to work on his grappling, and
I think so, but Sandhagen, I mean, this could be an excuse or whatever, but he said that he just was super calm in that fight and he didn't think it was in that big of a deal. And then by the time it he realized like, oh shit, it was too late. So,
yeah,
I mean, a guy
he's
can
like,
get
I'm
caught,
going
right?
to sleep now.
Well, you can get like you can have a guy on your back and be like, okay, this isn't so bad, this isn't so bad, and then all of a sudden he's got an arm around your neck, right?
I mean, that's
And
fighter error. If somebody's on your back, you should be like, oh fuck, someone's got my back.
yeah,
That's
especially
almost the worst
early,
position in MMA.
it is the
You
worst,
know,
I'd say,
it
other than
is.
like rear mount.
Yeah, yeah. Rear mount, crucifix. Uh,
That's about
yeah,
it.
that's about it. Maybe a full mount if somebody's got a really good full mount game.
Yeah,
Uh,
full mount's very well, not underutilized, but I feel like guys use it less now because you can get bucked off so well. Like everyone in MMA has good hips now, right? It's not
yeah,
like people don't know how to fucking shrimp and make space with their knees and shit now, right? Everyone
yeah, and
knows how to do that. In full
yeah.
mount, you can't really. It's hard to punch a guy in full mount
Yeah,
unless you got
it's
really heavy,
it's
because
just,
guys
yeah,
just
it's much easier to defend than getting off your back. And then when somebody does get you off, it's back to typically standing up. Like, it's back to mano y mano.
yeah. That's why a
Um,
lot of guys prefer half guard, right? Like DC, he always gets half guard or
yeah,
instead of mount or side control.
you know what I thought was interesting. Actually, I was listening to the Rogan GSP podcast, and GSP said he was originally training for Cockhold. He was going to fight Luke, and I was like, really? Man, I don't think that would have gone well for GSP. I think Luke probably would have muscled him around. Like, obviously GSP could have knocked him out, but I just I think Luke would have grapple fucked GSP. No,
I mean, Luke Rockhold's top game is really good, but his takedowns aren't that good, and his submissions are good, but he's not. Yeah,
But
I
I
mean,
mean, GSP
I'm
is so much
glad that
smaller.
Bisping fought GSP and not Rockhold, but I don't think that
Yeah.
was an unwinnable fight for GSP.
No, no, it's not unwinnable, but I just think like for GSP's style and his game plan, usually like I
Yeah,
don't
because
know if you want to be grappling Luke Rockhold ever if you're GSP because their frames are. I mean, Luke's a much bigger dude.
GSP had a grappling advantage over Bisping. Clearly, I don't think he would have had a grappling advantage over Rockhold.
No, no, definitely
Maybe in
not.
takedowns.
Maybe in
Um,
takedowns, but like I mean, once it gets down there, who the fuck knows?
and
I
I
just
think
thought that was kind of interesting.
GSP is probably a better striker,
Yeah. Well,
but
especially like I mean, but the thing is, I think
he doesn't hit as
Rockhold
hard
was so
though.
emotional, and with GSP, he wouldn't have been emotional. You know, like he wouldn't have been so angry in that fight. I think he would have had a much more focused Rockhold, which is even more dangerous.
Or you could have had a Rockhold that overlooked him because he's a welterweight.
Nah, I think
You're
he
not going to
overlooked
overlook
Bisbing.
GSP.
I think he overlooked Bisbing way more than he would have overlooked GSP.
Yeah, well, he already beat Bisping
Yeah, and he should
by
have beat him
one-armed guillotine. He beat him
again.
with one arm.
Yeah, I just think like man, Rockhold might have fucking I don't know.
Might have fucked George up.
I mean, you hear other fighters talk about Rockhold's top game like it's the best in the UFC.
Yeah.
You know?
But how much better would it have been if GSP fucking smoked Rockhold?
Yeah, because then it would have been like
He'd be
know,
like the unequivocal GOAT. It would not
yeah,
be up for debate. It'd be like he went up and knocked out Rockhold because Rockhold wouldn't have lost by then either, right?
yeah,
And he would
yeah,
have been like the guy that beat Weidman. You're like, holy fuck, it's Rockhold, not the guy that got knocked out by Bisping, right?
yeah, and then continue to get
Because
knocked out.
people thought Rockhold was the greatest fighter ever. Basically, like there were so many guys that were already saying like, holy shit, this is the future of middleweight, right? Right
Yeah,
after
that's
he
what I
beat
thought.
Rock or right after he beat Weidman. Well, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and yeah, it's crazy
fuck
how fucking 1 minute you're on top of the world, the next minute Yoel's kissing you up against the fence.
it. Yeah.
No good.
Oh man. All right. What's next here? Should we talk about some of the fights on this
How long
upcoming
have we
shit
been
card?
going?
Probably about 50 minutes, 40
Holy
minutes.
fuck! All right, what else we got?
I mean, obviously we have DJ and Sandhagen canceled, so that's kind of a bummer. There's no main. Well, there is a main event. Just
Hey,
sucks.
hey, put some respect on Michelle Waterson's name.
I mean, it's not even like disrespect. Like I like watching her fight and compete. It's
Yeah, I
just
like watching her
it's not
throw
worthy
front
of a
kicks from 8 miles out.
yeah.
That's my favorite.
Yeah. It's just it's like what is this in front of ESPN? Like you're she's it's just not good. It's not good. It's not good enough. I'm way more
Yeah.
excited about Ferreira fighting Gillespie and Neil versus Jeff, Donald versus Morano.
Neil versus Jeff. Neil.
Yeah, Neil versus Neil.
Yeah.
Um,
Kramer versus Kramer. Ben
yeah,
Rothwell versus Philip Linz on the fucking prelims.
yeah, that'll be a good fight.
Hell yeah.
Um,
I like Kyle Dawkins versus Phil Hawes on the prelims too, actually. That's a nice fight. Both
mhm.
some young prospects.
Yeah, Christian Aguilera, Christina Aguilera. Okay.
So what do you think about Amanda Hebus versus Angela Hill?
Oh man,
You think Hebus comes and smashes her?
probably. Well, I don't think you're gonna smash Angela. You might beat Angela,
I think she's
but
gonna choke her out.
I think she's gonna choke her out.
Yeah.
Hmm. I mean, Hebas is good, but Angela just has so much experience. I don't know.
Yeah, she does have a lot of experience, but I don't think she's ever beaten anyone as good as Amanda Hebus. So I'll take Amanda Hebus by submission.
Yeah,
What do you
that's
think
what I'm gonna
about?
say.
Yeah, yeah, you agree.
Yeah,
Um, you know. What do you think about Carlos Diego Ferreira versus Gregor Gillespie?
that's a good fight.
I like this fight.
I feel like it's gonna
Um,
be kind of a stand-up fight.
both of them ranked in the lightweight division, I think. Diego's number 12, Gregor's number 14.
Hmm. Who did Gregor just come back and beat?
Sorry?
Like Gregor came back and beat somebody, didn't he?
No, this is his first fight back
Oh,
since
this is
he
his
got
first fight
knocked.
back.
Yeah, tough fight.
That was a tough one. Fuck.
Maybe don't
His
have a
last
top
fight was
knot when you
before
fight.
COVID. That's crazy.
Yep.
Um,
That's a long time, hey?
that is a long time.
It's like his last fight, when was it? November. So that's 18 months
2019.
ago.
Yeah, I mean, we always stress taking breaks after getting knocked out. I mean, he did it. 18 months. Uh, who knows? So he's probably been working like fucking crazy since then. Um, but he's 34 years old, man. Time to get after it. You want to go for the
Yeah.
belt, you gotta start putting in 3-4 fights a year, I think, because he's never been one to fight much. You
No,
know,
and
two
he's
two
like
fights a
old.
year. Um, yeah. As far as who wins this fight, I have no idea.
Yeah. I don't know. It's going to be a tough one. I think Carlos Diego Ferreira is going to find a way to get the job done. I think might be a better striker than Gregor, and I don't know if Gregor's going to want to take him down. I think he probably will take him down, even though Carlos is such a submission threat, but we'll see.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Gregor
tough.
by decision, I think he might be able to just grapple him against the cage, but I think Carlos gets it done by decision.
Hmm.
We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I think Carlos might fucking TKO him. Who knows?
Yeah, it's
Just
possible.
throw out a random prediction.
Yeah, Chico round 5.
Yeah.
That's a 3-rounder. Yeah, sounds good. What else we got here? Maurice Green versus Marcos Rogero de Lima. Yeah, we'll skip that one. Neil Magny, Jeff Neal. You think Jeffy Boy does it? He looked, he showed a lot of heart in his last fight against Wonderboy, at least, even though he did get outclassed.
Yeah, he did.
But I mean, everyone gets outclassed by
Neil
Wonderboy.
Magny. I think he probably learned a lot in that fight about fighting somebody tall, somebody long.
Yeah,
Um, I think he's going to find Neil's chin at some point in the fight. I don't know when.
Magny's so good though.
He is really
He's
good,
super underrated,
but
and he's long.
he sometimes he just loses fights that I'm like, what? What?
Yeah,
Why'd you lose that fight?
he's got a big reach advantage too,
Yeah.
and way
Uh,
more experience. I mean, Neil Magny's been in there with the best.
yeah. No, Jeff is going to find the chin.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right, okay, I'll take Magny. He's got a really good chin. I think he's going to be able to win a decision by Neil. Get ground
Mhm.
out, clinch,
Uh,
clinch win by Magny.
Cerrone.
Yeah, short notice versus Alex Morano. Um, what was his last fight? Was it a loss? Yeah, it was a loss against Pettis. And he beat Reese McKee, a guy that never fights in the UFC. So
I'm gonna
I'll
have to
take
pick
Cerrone.
Morrow.
Cerrone by club and sub. He's going to drop him on the feet and submit him. You heard it right here first.
Club and sub.
Club and sub. This is my favorite, man. When guys fucking knock someone down and then just jump on their back and strangle them. Oh, just.
What's your best club and sub?
Uh, Tony Ferguson's got some good ones. When he hurt Edson Barbosa, that wasn't really
Edson?
a club and sub, but he had him hurt before, and then he took him down and darsed him. The way that he grabbed onto that neck from like, it's hard to explain on camera like this, but Edson Barbosa was moving one way, and Tony basically just reached around, grabbed the neck, and like brought him down. It was one of the smoothest submissions I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That or Donald Cerrone when he dropped Edson Barbosa again. Sorry, Edson. Cerrone when he dropped Barbosa and choked him out. That was a
Yeah.
good one. I dropped him with a jab. That was a good one. I like that one.
I liked Gunnar Nelson's versus Jobin.
Oh yeah, that was a good one too.
That was a really good one.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
the guy
That's
was a
one of my
model,
favorite
you
ways.
know? I don't want to
Yeah.
bust up his face. I was like, you're a fucking prick.
He did bust up his face though.
Yeah.
Why is Joban a model yet always just gets fucking split open in his fights? Like
It
he
just
fights
sounds
too
so much
aggressively
easier
to be a
to be a
model.
model. Like, like, I mean, he's one of those guys that just loves it. Just loves it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
no
gonna pick
doubt.
Cerrone as well. I mean, the guy's had a full camp. Morano's stepping in last minute, and Morano just, doesn't really have that many impressive wins. So
And it's short notice,
yeah,
you know. Um, yeah. All right, what else we got on this fight card?
main event.
Main event. All right, moving on.
Um, yeah, moving
I
on to
don't.
the next fight
Yeah,
card.
I'll take Marina Rodriguez because she can actually strike by decision, obviously.
Yeah,
Sorry, but Michelle's just throwing air punches from 9 feet away from your opponent doesn't do it for me anymore.
who's
Sorry,
Marina beat?
nobody
Oh,
yet.
she knocked out fucking Amanda Hebos in her last fight. That's
I
impressive.
know, man. That was a fucking legit one. That was a while
Yeah,
ago.
and she got beat by Carla Esparza.
Well, that wasn't that. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah,
She beat
yeah. She's got
Jessica.
vicious fucking hands, man. She's got good Muay Thai.
Yeah,
I wonder what the odds are on that one. Because I am gonna bet the shit out of it.
yeah. I'm gonna pick Marina.
Man, Gregor Gillespie's minus 185.
That's so weird. He hasn't fought in so long, and he's coming off of a brutal knockout loss.
Mm-hmm. You know what's crazy?
Huh.
The Karate Hottie versus Marina Rodriguez fight wasn't even supposed to be on this card. They just moved it to it.
That was on next week's card.
I think it was on the next week or the week after or something.
Fuck.
Yeah. I'll take Marina Rodriguez via knockout.
Yeah, I'll take her by KO.
Yeah. And I'm betting $10 for a nice parlay on Diego Ferreira and Neil Magny and Amanda Hebas.
All
$5
right.
pays out $50, man. You can't afford not to.
I mean, you can't.
Yeah, I'm
Oh, so
feeling
fucking
lucky.
Leon Nate canceled.
Oh yeah,
That's
Nate's out.
Nate's a little bitch.
So does that mean that Leon beat Nate?
Yeah,
Right?
exactly what
That's
that means.
exactly what that means.
I mean, it was gonna happen anyways. Like Leon's so funny, man. He's like, I deserve a championship fight, and then he's like, Nate, oh Nate, yeah.
Man, you
That
can't
sounds
afford
like a
not to
good.
though. Why
That
wouldn't you
sounds
want to
like a
beat
good
up on
payday
why wouldn't you
and
want
the
to win
easiest
by
fight.
TKO to cuts against Nate Diaz, or you could fight Colby Covington and probably lose? Gonna take Nate
Yeah,
Diaz.
100%. Like
Get
your
fucking
stock goes
paid.
up way
Yeah,
more. You
man.
get paid, and it's literally the easiest fight at 170. You'd have to go down to like who's a harder fight than Nate
Bro.
in 170.
In 170? Nobody. Nobody ranked. Like
Li Jingliang.
I doubt it.
I mean, maybe Robbie Lawler,
Maybe Robbie Lawler.
not Kamzat.
They should do
Kamzat.
Robbie Lawler versus Nate Diaz. I think Nate Diaz wins that fight.
I think Nate wins.
Robbie's just gun shy.
Yeah, his fight with Colby was a disgrace.
I'd like to see Vicente Luque versus Nate Diaz.
That'd be a good fight.
That'd
Yeah.
be a fucking scrap. All right. Well, should we just end this podcast or what
Yeah, I
else we
think
got
that's
to
it,
talk
right?
about here? Hey?
I think that's it. That's
That's
all.
about it. That's all. Okay, what is this? Episode 87? 88? Episode 87 or 88 in the books. Thanks a lot for listening, guys. Don't forget to leave us a 5-star review and rating on your podcast platform. We would really appreciate that. Subscribe, tell your friends, blah, blah, blah. Don't forget to see us next week. Peace out.